Its morning it wakes me to hear, to listen like a sigh. The Lord has opened my ear. For my part, I made no resistance, neither did I turn away. I offered my back to those who struck me, my cheeks to those who tore at my ear. I did not cover my face against insult to his people.
Jesus said,
"Leave her alone. Why are you upsetting her? What you have done for me is one of the good works. You have the poor with you always, and you can be kind to them whenever you wish. But you will not always have me. She have done what was in her power to do. She has anointed my body beforehand for his burial. I tell you solemnly, wherever throughout all the world the good news is proclaimed, what she has done will be told also in remembrance of her."
Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, approached the chief priests with an offer to hand Jesus over to them. They were delighted to hear it and promised to give him money, and he looked for a way of betraying him when the opportunity should occur. On the first day of the unleavened bread, when the Passover lamb was sacrificed, his disciples said to him,
Where do you want us to go? When I make the preparations for you to eat the Passover?
So he sent two of his disciples, saying to them,
"Go into the city, and you will meet a man carrying a pitcher of water. Follow him, and say to the owner of the house which he enters, 'The master says, where is my dining room in which I can eat the Passover with my disciples?' He will show you a large upper room furnished with coaches, all prepared. Make the preparations for us there."
The disciples set out and went to the city and found everything as he had told them and prepared the Passover. When evening came, he arrived with the 12, and while they were at the table eating, Jesus said,
"I tell you solemnly, one of you is about to betray me. One of you eating with me."
They were distressed and asked him, one after another,
Not I, surely.
He said to them,
Is the one of the 12, one who is dipping into the same dish with me. Yes, the Son of Man is going to his feet. As the scripture says, he will. But alas, for that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. Better for that man if he had never been born.
and as they were eating, he took some bread, and when he had said the blessing, he broke it and gave it to them, saying,
Take it. This is my body.
Then he took a cup, and when he had returned, thanks he gave it to them, and all drank from it. And he said to them,
This is my blood, the blood of the covenant, which is to be poured out for many. I tell you solemnly, I shall not drink any this cup away from me, but let it be as you, not I, would have it.
He came back and found them sleeping, and he said to Peter,
Simon, are you asleep? Have you not the strength to keep awake 1 hour? You should be awake and praying, not to put to the test. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Again, he went away and prayed, saying the same words, and once more he came back and found them sleeping. Their eyes were so heavy, and they could find no answer for him. He came back a third time and said to them,
You can sleep on now and take your rest. It is all over. The hour has come. Now the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of the sinners. Get up, let us go. My betrayer is close at hand already.
Even while he was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, came up with a number of men armed with swords and clubs, sent by the chief priests and the scribes and the elders. Now the traitor had arranged a signal with them. He had said,
The one I please, he is the man. Take him in charge and see he is well guarded when you lead him away.
So when the traitor came, he went straight up to Jesus and said,
Rabbi,
and kissed him. The others seized him and took him in charge. Then one of the bystanders drew his sword and struck out at the high priest's servant and cut off his ear. Then Jesus spoke.
Am I a brigand that you have set out to capture me with swords and clubs? I was among you teaching in the temple day after day, and you never laid hands on me. But this is to fulfill the scriptures.
And they all deserted him and ran away. A young man who followed him had nothing on but a linen cloth. They caught hold of him, but he left the cloth in their hands and ran away naked. They led Jesus off to the high priest, and all the chief priests and the elders and the scribes assembled there. Peter had followed him at a distance, right into the high priest's palace, and was sitting with the attendants, warming himself at the fire. The chief priests and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for the evidence against Jesus on which they might pass the death sentence, but they could not find any. Several indeed wrote false evidence against him, but their evidence was conflicting. Some stood up and submitted this false evidence against him.
We heard him say, I am going to destroy this temple, made by human hands, and in 3 days build another, not made by human hands.
But even on this point, their evidence was conflicting. The high priest then stood up before the whole assembly and put this question to Jesus.
have you no answer to that? What is this evidence these men are bringing against you?
But he was silent and made no answer at all. The high priest put a second question to him.
Are you the Christ, Son of the Blessed One?
Jesus said,
I am, and you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of the power and coming with the clouds of heaven.
the high priest tore his robes and said,
What need of witnesses have we now? You heard the blasphemy. What is your finding?
and they all gave their verdict. He deserved to die. Some of them
See how many accusations they are bringing against you.
But to Pilate's amazement, Jesus made no further reply. At festival time, Pilate used to release the prisoner for them, anyone they asked for. Now, a man called Barabbas was then in the prison with the rioters who had committed murder during the uprising. When the crowd went up and began to ask Pilate the customary favor, Pilate answered them,
Do you want me to release for you